Good evening, good afternoon, and morning to all. We sincerely thank you for taking time out from your busy schedule today in joining us for this webinar. Today, in this webinar, we are going to cover zero trust security in the modern workplace. The term workplace is getting evolved as time progresses. Today, employers are focusing on how to make working flexible, remote, and device agnostic with the advent and fair usage of BYOD. However, this also creates security risks. So, in the next 45 minutes, our speakers are going to take you through the new approach to mitigate such security risks called the zero trust architecture. We have a star studded speaker lineup for today. Our speakers today include Pratik Samantarai. Pratik is a part of the marketing strategic team of InstaSafe. He had prior experience of managing his own startup besides working for Robert Bosch. Pratik has a deep insight in marketing trends and consumer behavior of the cybersecurity domain and hopes to utilize the same to design solutions that cater to neotoric security needs of modern enterprises. Utkarsh Pandey is responsible for engaging directly with startup customers to provide them with technical advocacy as they build their products on AWS. Additionally, as a member of the Security and Compliance TFC, focusing on mastering the compliance frameworks, security processes, and AWS security services. Post the speaker presentations, we'll have a Q&A session at the end of the webinar where you can ask any of our speakers questions pertaining to this topic, and there would be 5 poll questions, so please answer them. Please note, this is a listen only webinar, hence all questions will have to be posted in the Q&A section on the top left hand tab. Please feel free to put in your questions throughout the course of the webinar and they will be answered cumulatively towards the end in the session time allotted. And now, without further ado, I would like to hand over to our first speaker of the day, Utkarsh. Over to you, Utkarsh.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sophia. I hope I'm audible. Can I get it?
Utkarsh, you are not audible.
Utkarsh, would you please be louder?
Uh, yeah, hi, Sophia. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, a
Yeah,
little bit more louder.
Okay, I'll try to speak a little louder. I hope it's audible.
your voice is very low.
Okay, so so do you want me to switch on a different headphone?
Yeah, please try.
Okay, just give me a moment. All right. So, Sophie, can you just confirm if it's any better now?
That's better now.
Yeah, it's very better now.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and big apologies for the live glitches, right? And it's part and parcel of the webinar. So, uh, I think as Sophie pointed out, it's very important what we are trying to do today, and that is focusing on the security aspect of engagement, and it's more relevant, especially in today's day and situation where we are battling with the pandemic, and a lot of organizations have moved towards connecting securely to the applications, and any loopholes in that can actually be a bigger risk than what they are able to achieve with those connectivities, and that's where AWS, along with the InstaSafe, is trying to bring something which can uniquely be used and utilized to make that communication and connection not only secure but also speedy. Uh, and that's where we are trying to focus today. My name is Utkarsh Pandey, as Sophia pointed out. I'm part of the startup segment in AWS for Mumbai. As part of my day-to-day activity, I do engage with a lot of customers in the startups who are battling with the security, especially as I said, in today's situation where there are attacks trying to happen, there are ransomware attacks, there are DDoS attacks which are happening from all over the world. The challenge is that if you try to build something of your own, there are a lot of issues which you will face, and many organizations will face that, right? If you try to build some security controls on premise or in your own infrastructure, and that is purely because of these two fundamental factors. Lack of visibility is something which is because of not being able to have proper auditability in place. And the main reason behind it is because it requires expensive and complex tooling to get an accurate real-time asset inventory, which is very difficult to build for for an organization which is not enterprise grade. Similarly, low degree of automation is another factor which can be a big trouble thing when you are moving towards engaging or connecting with the applications. Because if you're trying to or think of copying and pasting the information from one tool to another, or even if you are going towards the manually applying the patches, it's been difficult to automate some of these security key aspects by yourself. So security is hard, and that's where a lot of organizations tends to leave it at the beginning, because they get into the trade-off those situations where they have to make a conscious choice, which is mostly in binary in nature. So that they have to make a call whether they want to move fast and stay relevant in the market, or they want to stay secure. And as has been with the business, more often than not, you tilt towards the primary. You want to move fast because you want to be ahead in the market. And security takes a backseat. But it becomes a bigger challenge when you get exposed to some of those attacks. And in my engagements with the customers where I deal with security incidents day in and day out, we have seen customers facing these challenges where their data exfiltration has happened. People or some of the organizations have been taken into ransomware kind of a situation, or their credentials has been compromised, or maybe a DDoS flood attack where their entire stack or whatever infrastructure they have provision is choked to the death. And in those situations, they have to think about security. And if they start thinking about security, the last thing you want them to stop the process of innovation, to stop thinking about what they are actually relevant for, and that is moving fast. But with AWS being a forefront of it, and the partners like InstaSafe, we have made it possible to automate many of the basic security tasks or guardrails, be it the patching or gaining visibility so that we can accurately identify and monitor those critical assets and data. And with the cloud, all of this has been made a lot easier, with the vision that you can stay agile while maintaining and in many cases improving security. AWS in itself does not differentiate whether you as a customer is from enterprise grade or a startup. Across all the stack, everybody has all the toolings in place which they can utilize to build the robust and secure infrastructure. Some of the most secured infrastructures are running on AWS cloud, and there are testimonials available on the website too. Few of them which are very interesting, which was able to find out the space on this slides real estate. One is FINRA, which is very unique use case, because the FINRA's CISO has been open in advocating and accepting that AWS can provide you as a better security posture than what you can even think of building in your own data center. And that is purely because the scale at which we operate. We foresee things, we have advanced technologies through which we can not only predict but also mitigate fast. And if any organization has to build it from the scratch, it does take longer and a lot of money into it. Majority of the times, your organizations do get into the compliance segment as well. The later two testimonials on the slide is pertinent to that. So JogDoc is a very good use case for a HIPAA compliance, where we migrated their 100% workloads into the cloud. And there were a lot of repulsion in the beginning. But AWS being compliant platform helped the customer to bring their compliant applications also. So does the case was with the Vodafone Italy, where they wanted to have a PCI DSS level 1 compliance intact, and we were able to move them to the cloud without harming any one of those compliances. And the way we do that is not something which is rocket science. We do this because we have a posture in AWS where security is taken into the highest esteem. We as an organization has always been forefront on inventing on behalf of the customers. And when we saw that there is a need for customers so that they can their security postures can be improved, we started investing heavily on that. And what we call as a job zero in security in AWS is something which should happen even before you start building your accounts. Before your first footprint comes to the cloud, you should firstly be thinking about how you will secure. The way AWS helps you is by providing you enough tools and controls which can be chosen depending on the use case and security posture or guardrails which you want to build. Using AWS, you will gain the control and confidence you need to securely run your business with the most flexible and secure cloud computing environment which exists currently. As an AWS customer, you will always benefit from the AWS data centers and network architectures to protect your information in the form of identities or application or the data. And at times, you can improve your ability to meet most of the core security responsible and compliance requirement because AWS does adhere to the data locality and all the security rules and regulations which your organization belongs to. And, and we being inventing on behalf of the customers always give you a freedom to reach out to us if in case you want to build something unique for your use case. AWS supports more security standard and compliance certification than any other offerings. We saw in the case of Vodafone Italy, where we moved their PCI DSS compliant application, or in a HIPAA situation, that's not the end. AWS has got audited and certified by 200 plus different compliance control providers. So anything and more often than not everything which you can think of from the compliance domain, AWS is certified. So you inherit the most comprehensive security and compliance control if you are trying to build your product or applications and ride it onto AWS platform. With AWS, you control where your data is stored. Because we have been always very transparent in providing access and services to the customers where they decide what they want to do with the data. They also make a call on what resources your organization is consuming at any given point in time. And with the fine-grained identity and access control, which is combined with the continuous monitoring and near real-time security information available, you can reduce the risk by detecting suspicious security activities promptly, whether it's in the form of configuration changes or anything which is happening across your ecosystem. AWS provides you services, tools which can help you achieve those tasks. But the choice to exercise those toolings will always be with you. Adding on to what I just talked about on the data privacy and security, AWS being one of the most vigilant organizations when it comes to privacy, and that is purely because we always believe in the customer obsession story. And our customers do care deeply about the data security. With that in mind, we have built a separate team of security experts whose day-to-day activity is to just monitor our systems 24/7 to protect the content which we are bringing. I, being part of security team, I myself engage with the customers on daily basis to understand their security posture and help them enabling it even further. Whether somebody is trying to have ability to encrypt the data in transit, in rest, or maybe some of the organizations which has to be compliant by RBI governance and all, where privacy laws or local laws take place. So we do have a separate team which takes care of it. And as I said in the beginning, irrespective of the scale at which your organization is, you always have access to us. Automating security tasks on AWS will always be there to enable you so that you can be more secure. And that is firstly because you are reducing the human configuration error, but it is also giving your team more time to focus on the other work, which is critical to your business. The last thing you want is to deviate from the core interest with which your organization started with and thinking about security or infrastructure. AWS has built enough toolings, so let them manage that. And they have huge set of integrated partners who can enhance those security posture on top of that AWS platform. So they are the one who should be utilized to ensure that you get a more secure infrastructure possible in the cloud. We in AWS aligns with AWS security services to the 5 pillars or epics in the security well architected framework. Now, if you don't know, AWS has recently brought a feature called well architected framework, which in a way acts as a solution architect within your infrastructure and applications to identify if you are well architected, and if you are, what degree, and if there is any loopholes, you get the recommendations. And that feature is now available on the portal as well. On those features, the one segment which is of the most importance is the security, and the security feature is actually the combination of these 5 pillars, because we believe in these 5 pillars as being the forefront of the security. Identity and access management, that's the first level of defense. Who will have access to what resources? So we have services which allows you to control that access, what we call a fine-grained control through identity and access management services. Of course, something can go wrong. That's where we have services which can be part of detection category. The first couple of them, which is very important, and I would, in the interest of time, I'll just want to call out them, is the AWS Security Hub. AWS Security Hub as a service allows you to be compliant. You just say whether I'm compliant. AWS Security Hub goes and checks entire account to give you recommendation that whether you are, and if you're not, these are the things you can do. Similarly, the guard duty, which is more on the threat detection side. With machine learning as backbone, guard duty does allow you to predict things if in case something is going to happen in your account. Infrastructure protection will always be a forefront because that's where the customer's interest lies. Whether you talk about infrastructure protection from the edge security, where anybody is trying to do web exploit in the form of SQL injections, cross-site scripting, or maybe a pure play DDoS attack. So we have services which will be able to mitigate that in the form of Shield Advanced WAF. Just to let you know, in the year 2019, the world has seen biggest DDoS attack getting mitigated by using the Shield Advanced. The document is all over the internet. So that means the cloud security posturing does help you mitigate a lot of those risks which you are exposed to. Data protection can also be another factor where a lot of customers have the pain, whether the data gets exfiltrated, where somebody gets access to your data and taking you for a ransom ride. So how you ensure that you can be secure on that? We have services which allows you to build those kind of environment which is fully secure. And as a team of solution architects and AWS, we are always there to help you out by evaluating what actually you have to build and in case you have to be secure. Incident response is the 5th pillar and probably the pillar which is most underrated. But end of the day, you want to have, if in case some incident happen, you want to have a way to firstly detect it, then stop it, and then be able to control it with the documentation so that it should not happen in future. The services like AWS Config can be a big help for you, which is acting as an as an inventory for all the configurations changes which are made. So with all these services which we have, the vision is to make sure that whenever somebody tries to build anything on the cloud platform in AWS, we provide them with the best and secure options. Having said that, AWS ecosystem is not only about AWS security. We connect and integrate with a lot of our partners who are rich in their specific segment, and we believe in not reinventing the wheel. InstaSafe is one of them, which is built entirely on AWS, but takes the security posturing to the next level, especially in the domain where you are connecting from your work from home locations through VPNs. So we allow you to choose those partners, work with them, and build a more secure posturing. Before I pass on the baton to the team for the next segment of the presentation, it's very important that I should call out the shared responsibility model, because this gets lost into the translations. AWS is responsible for portion of the security which is of the cloud. So we have built a system which is fully protected, be it from the technological stack perspective or wherever our databases or other data centers are built. But the data which you bring to cloud or the application stack which you bring to us, and in some situations, the services which you select, you have to make sure that you take your responsibility carefully. Now, as a partner, we provide you the comprehensive set of tooling, some of them which we discussed just now, to enable those security guardrails. But the choice will always be yours. We can be just a voice telling you that you should build it. Make sure security should be treated as a forefront. That's the advice which I want to convey today. If you look at the traditional on-premise setup, if you have to build every security layer, be it from the physical, wherein the data centers or the place which you are building, till the customer data is your responsibility. In the cloud, that has been abstracted because you don't take the responsibility of managing a lot of the nitty-gritties. You just worry about the data, the way you connect it. Having said that, even in that customers portion of the shared responsibility model, the organizations and partners like InstaSafe can be a very handy, because they even provide you more automated and built-in feature sets through which you can secure your communications and connectivities properly. Now with this, I'll pass it on to Pratik so that he can take it forward from here. Thank you so much. Yeah, over to you, Pratik.
Yeah, thank you.
I'll just
If you would enable sharing for me, yeah.
over to you, Pratik.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you, Utkarsh, for enlightening us about the AWS security perspective. So I will be taking the same topic further and expanding on the InstaSafe side of things, and how the entire zero trust story plays out in securing cloud assets in conjunction with AWS. So I hope that at the end of the presentation, I would have been able to give you some greater clarity on how an InstaSafe and AWS collaboration fit into the greater scheme of your cloud journey. So yeah, to start off, InstaSafe is a cloud security solutions provider, and we specialize in helping companies craft, deploy, and implement the zero trust security model in their businesses, supporting companies with our secure remote access solutions. So we are venture backed with a presence across more than 40 geographies. We are an AWS advanced tech partner, both on the public sector front as well as the security competency for B2B front. And as I mentioned, our global footprint, it's across 40 countries worldwide, spread across all continents. And this is just a snapshot of our customer base. As you can see, we cater to some of the biggest MNCs in the world, and we have managed to have a stronghold over the Asian market. Uh, a talking point here is the presence of almost all the industries, apart from the more vulnerable ones like FSIs, RTES, or retail, and so on. So I will get started by expanding on the entire idea of an extension of the security apparatus of the AWS cloud that was touched upon by Utkarsh, with a focus on the zero trust idea. So I'm pretty sure that in the last 7 to 8 months, you must have heard about the idea of a zero trust model. Zero trust has become a buzzword across industries, especially with the rapid pace of digital transformation and the proliferation of remote workers and the adoption of the cloud. But the pertinent question that is raised here is that why is the shift to this model being debated in every notable boardroom? Now, according to renowned market research firm Gartner, the traditional legacy-based security solutions that were used that were used for secure application access are ill-equipped to meet the security needs of the modern enterprise. A primary reason for the same is that enterprise IT today has become diversified. Now, larger enterprises leverage an average of almost 5 different cloud platforms, and a majority of the workloads that they use have moved to the cloud. Now, has the security setup of such enterprises transitioned to bear the weight of such a transcendental change? Hardly. Which is why Gartner is predicting that by 2023, 60%, and of course, this is a conservative estimate that was given before the entire pandemic struck, 60% of the companies using traditional VPNs will have phased out the same in favor of a zero trust technology. Of course, the entire technology conception of a software-defined perimeter stands out as a tool to implement the zero trust model, more so because of its versatile and scalable and flexible nature. This is why it's very important to explain in better depth how this technology approach that we use, the software-defined perimeter, actually works. But before I move on to my explanation, InstaSafe has been named by Gartner as a representative vendor for Zero Trust Network Access for the second time in a row now. And this feather in our cap follows the recommendation of InstaSafe as one of the top vendors for crafting a zero trust strategy, along with the likes of Google Cloud, Microsoft, and Cisco at the Gartner Security and Risk Management Summit 2020. We have leveraged the flexibility of our solutions to cater to a variety of use cases. And over the past 8 years, we've managed to fulfill these use cases to a considerable amount of success. So yeah, expanding on where Utkarsh left off, of course, while the security of the cloud is the responsibility of AWS, the security in the cloud is the responsibility of the customer. And this is exactly where InstaSafe comes in, helping organizations in fulfilling their responsibilities through our security solutions. Now, how do we bridge the customer needs? Our flagship solutions help in building an overlay network which would connect users and devices to servers and applications in the cloud. Now, while this is the underlying methodology for any generic security solution, we choose to take the extra steps to ensure better security. So what we do is we help security teams in understanding their company's security posture better by providing an all-round view of all network traffic, while also allowing administrators to frame access policies which are specific to users or group of users. And to add to it, organizations today are operating in very diverse and very fractured environments. And since IT systems are spanning multiple cloud platforms with multiple tools left to secure them, we are often left with complex security setups with no singular visibility. Now, all of this not only causes business friction on the security and compliance side, but it results in an IT environment that is replete with vulnerabilities. So these gaps in security are filled in with an offering that is cloud agnostic and operates seamlessly in hybrid environments. And that is exactly what InstaSafe does. Of course, before going into a deeper dive into our zero trust access solutions, it is extremely important to understand how traditional solutions have been securing networks and what exactly are the issues with them. Now, traditionally, inbound connections are blocked by firewall and only outbound connections are authorized. To put it simply, access to network is granted basis an authentication and authorization process. Now, this very approach presents issues on multiple fronts. Firstly, configuration is very complex for such solutions, with some businesses having dedicated teams with knowledge of IPsec, SSL, and the like for configuration. Then, of course, there's the issue of massive operational complexities, but an even more pronounced issue arises, which I will discuss in the next slide. Yeah, so the more pertinent issue is that of network access instead of application access. So the problem with such solutions is that they grant unfettered access to the network. And this unfettered access can be used for lateral movement across the network. So what happens is once a basic authorization process is done, you can technically access all network resources. And any malicious actor who gains access to a trusted user inside the network suddenly has access to almost everything in the network. And this issue becomes even more aggravated in the current context with the move to the cloud and of course a massive increase in the remote workforces across the world, and of course by extension a massive increase in the number of unmanaged devices. Security teams now have to employ very large workforces just for managing and formulating individual access policies for all workforces. And of course, there's the burden of additional cost and additional hardware. And of course, addition to the complexity of a security infrastructure, which is already bursting at the seams and is replete with vulnerabilities. So all in all, the challenges associated with traditional solutions are pretty clear to see. Now, the necessity of backhauling traffic into a data center in case of hybrid setups, it not only fractures the entire user experience, but also accounts for greater complexity in the security setup, especially in terms of integration with other security solutions. Of course, other than that, granular access control and the formulation of role-based access policies, which are the need of the hour today when you're operating with large remote workforces, it's not possible with these solutions. And even when it comes to extension of AD compliance beyond the on-prem users, traditional solutions often fail to deliver. So with this in context, we come to the idea of InstaSafe and the principles that we work on, and how we are addressing these security challenges associated with traditional solutions. So we use the principle of a software-defined perimeter to very tactfully implement the zero trust model. Now, zero trust as a security framework, it's been there for 15 years and it found its roots in the US Department of Defense. And of course, it found its first foray into enterprise security with Google Beyond Corp. And although it's a relatively new security model, Zero Trust has found multiple advocates in leading market research firms like Forrester and Gartner. Now, given the entire unprecedented transition in the nature of workforces, what we are seeing today and what we may continue to see for the next 10 years or so is a massive shift from legacy-based security systems to zero trust implementing tools and technologies like the software-defined perimeter. And one of the primary reasons for this is that a software-defined perimeter not only restricts user access to only those applications that they are actually allowed to use, but also continuously monitors the entire network traffic and data flow. So with that in perspective, let's understand how software defined perimeters and how InstaSafe does that. So we have user devices which may be located on-prem or anywhere across the world. And we have an InstaSafe controller or a zero trust controller, which basically acts as a security linchpin in the entire setup. Now the controller follows the concept of authenticate first, connect later. And every client device needs to have a lightweight agent installed in them. And for every access request made, a user is redirected to the controller. And on the application side, there is an InstaSafe gateway agent which sends an outbound tunnel to the controller. So it's noteworthy to mention that we are an AWS native technology, which means that our technology is completely hosted out of AWS. Now, what differentiates us is that for every application, you can install an InstaSafe gateway agent with a very simple configuration process that actually takes hours to implement. So a software-defined perimeter, what it does is it creates individualized micro perimeters that rely on identity as the single control point and helps in connecting users, devices, and applications. So what this essentially means is that once a user is verified, she is allowed access only to authorized applications, and the other applications are both invisible and inaccessible. This is done by a process called application-specific tunneling, and this entire exercise improves your security posture by leaps and bounds. So to give you better clarity, for InstaSafe security solution, any user accessing enterprise applications do not get direct connection to application. Instead, what we use is a reverse proxy. So in effect, authenticated devices never gain direct access to the network or even to the application server. And of course, the provision for granular role-based access policy formulation, which helps in governing and monitoring user actions, also helps in better threat monitoring and prevention of attacks like data exfiltration. Now, if we compare them side to side along with a traditional solution, usage of a VPN results in authenticated users getting layer 4 level access to the network and to the application servers. So what happens is in the event of a device getting compromised, this can actually expose the entire network to network based attacks or OS or TLS vulnerabilities. So in essence, the software defined perimeter being used by InstaSafe relies on 4 basic assumptions. So the first one is that there's no distinction between inside and outside the network perimeters. So that means that network locality alone cannot be a factor in determining trust. Secondly, malicious threats, according to us, exist on the network at all times, and they may be both internal or external in nature. And thirdly, every user, every device, and all data are to be validated and authenticated before granting them access. And of course, the fourth and final point, continuous discovery, continuous monitoring, and assessment of network traffic is to be done for better identification of the threat vectors. So without differentiating by inside, without differentiating between inside and outside the network, we are relying on a more nuanced approach where we distribute trust between the user and the device. So for each contextual request that is made, we rely on a continuous adaptive risk and trust assessment process to grant or deny access. In addition, we have some very nifty features like geolocation and geo-binding along with device binding, which help in monitoring and management of both remote employees as well as extranet users like third-party contractors. So basis that, our solutions have found multiple enterprise use cases, and I will discuss some of the primary use cases in detail. Most importantly, of course, there's secure access while migrating to public clouds, secure access for remote workforces and BYOD users, and allowing modern workforces to work from anywhere, and of course, secure access to DevOps and cloud architects. I'll discuss each of these in a bit of detail. Now, the first and more common of the use cases is, of course, secure cloud access for both on-prem and remote users. If we break it down, companies are always looking for a more secure way for remote users to access corporate applications without actually switching agents in the process. Now, the primary risk from BYOD policies is that of unmanaged access, which can actually compromise entire networks. So there needs to be a secure provision on that end as well. In the context of these requirements, InstaSafe Zero Trust solutions are a perfect fit. So for each request for access that InstaSafe receives, we verify multiple facets, such as who is the user, what is the user profile, what device are they using, what is the entire risk assessment of the device, and what are the access policies to be granted for that user or for that device. So once the user is verified, they are granted access, but only to those applications that they are allowed to see. And everything else is metaphorically blackened. And what makes the SDP even more efficient is the use of something called as the split plane architecture, wherein the control plane where trust is established and the data plane where actual data is transferred are separate, ensuring better security in the true sense. So all of these use cases are better served by the zero trust methodology. Now, the second use case is that of multi-cloud peering. As is the case with most businesses, companies tend to operate by leveraging a combination of on-prem data centers as well as multiple cloud platforms like Azure and AWS. Every cloud has its own security setup, which is somewhat similar to the shared responsibility aspect that Utkarsh discussed. But what your business would need is a common hybrid multi-cloud peering solution, which simplifies access and also makes operations easy. Of course, a primary requirement is that your application won't be visible to the external internet, which is also fulfilled by InstaSafe through the provision of a private network, private servers, and static IPs. Another important observation that I'd like to make is that with the increasing adoption of digital transformation processes, companies are often eager to implement these processes in earnest. And there arise situations when customers have to work with their own security service providers, traditional security service providers, to make these processes live. And given the inadequacy of these solutions, which was discussed in the previous slides, these processes really take up a lot of time and also add to the complexity of the security posture. So this is where InstaSafe can actually really help and complement the simplicity of on the AWS side with fast deployment on the customer side. Another vital use case, of course, is site to cloud peering. Since we are a cloud solution, we provide very easy, scalable, and secure access to both on-prem and cloud workloads. Now, typically in situations wherein you want to be independent of ISP or public networks, we provide a very viable solution for the same, and we also provide a secure alternative to your MPLS or IPsec solutions. Of course, isolation of your application environments depending on their requirements, while also providing role-based access governed by customizable policies is another use case that InstaSafe solves. Now, encrypted peering is another crucial use case, something that, of course, risk and compliance managers need to know about. Now, regulatory compliance has become extremely crucial for businesses, and of course, compliance requirements can vary for different businesses and for different industries and different geographies. So we have HIPAA for healthcare in US to GDPR in the European Union. Now, businesses may need to encrypt traffic between two inter-zone VPCs or inter-cloud VPCs, depending on whether they are using AWS or even multiple cloud platforms. Apart from ensuring that we secure applications by making them invisible from the open internet, InstaSafe also helps in defining granular policies, and a single pane management console also helps in constant monitoring, logging, and even auditing of network traffic. So all in all, this not only makes your compliance easier, it also makes compliance reporting processes easier. Of course, this use case, the secure access for third parties and BYOD, has become all the more pertinent in the current scenario. Third-party access and access of BYOD devices to corporate application becomes important because of the inadequacy of traditional solutions to provide the same. And I can say that we ourselves have seen a huge upsurge in demand for our solutions, especially because of the secure remote access aspect of it. since traditional solutions are untenable in this aspect. Now, additionally, the need of a monitoring system is necessary for remote and BYOD users. And while traditional solutions fall short in that aspect, InstaSafe provides the same. Of course, we do have additional features like device posture checks and behavioral biometrics and geofencing and geobinding, which help in fulfilling this use case. Finally, another vital use case is that traditionally the enterprise DevOps team would need access to a particular workload in a time-bound fashion. And enterprises often have to dynamically provision and deprovision your cloud workloads. And this is done easily with InstaSafe without actually entailing the complexity associated with, say, an IPsec solution. Now, since we provide an application-specific access, the benefits, both direct and indirect, are many. So since we are an AWS native vendor, scalability is not an issue in any way. I'd like to cite a case study here. It's for regarding one of our primary customers in the ITES domain, which is also one of the world's largest business process management firms, for whom we actually managed to scale up our solutions from 500 to 60,000 users in just 5 days. And this helped them a lot in securing remote access while also ensuring business continuity. So we have, of course, found ourselves being deployed in multiple form factors. And one primary benefit is that since we are a cloud deployed solution, from the TCO perspective, we incur a lot of savings. Since we do not need to backhaul all traffic to data centers and we can still ensure seamless access without that, you see almost a 70% reduction in the total cost of operations. With that in mind, I'd like to state that we have worked with a variety of AWS and hybrid cloud customers and help them in accessing a variety of applications. And we've done so with a considerable level of success. We'd love to have you try out InstaSafe for securing edge solutions. And of course, there are various proof of value projects that you can try out, from secure DevOps access to BYOD and corporate application access. Yeah, all said and done, we'd love to work along with AWS in securing your cloud journey. That's it from our side. We will be open for questions, and I'll have Shrikant from the tech team who will help us in answering some of the questions you've put forward. Thank you, folks.
Yeah, thanks, Pratik. So before Shrikant takes over, right, just to add, and it's a very good presentation from Pratik. See, InstaSafe is an advanced technology partner, and it provides solutions which is offering on the network and infrastructure security segment. Especially in today's day and age, where mobile workforce is getting a lot of traction, and you need partners who can empower that adoption on top of the cloud. I would highly encourage you to look at InstaSafe and AWS as a whole, and see if you can build your connectivity by using the toolings. Yeah, I think Shrikant, now you can take it over.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
Shrikant.
you're audible.
Yeah. Hi. Good afternoon. Good morning. Good evening, everybody. So there was one question about how does InstaSafe compare with Zscaler from Srinivas, and I would say that see, InstaSafe, basically we are a true SDV player in the market, where we segregate the data plane and the control plane. That means the control plane which is used for the authentication and authorization, etc., and the data plane where it's used for purely application and data access. So we segregate these two, purely, and do not mix up the planes. And the policy engine also is obviously made separate because of that. So InstaSafe zero trust application access is flexible also to the needs of customers, and does not need any traffic through the cloud to be lifted. InstaSafe zero trust uses split plane architecture, as you said, and since it separates this control plane and data plane, there are very few other players in the market who do this, and that's the reason why we are quite different from players like Zscaler there. Hope that answers your question, Srinivas. If you have anything else, please feel free to put it in the Q&A. So another thing I would like to add, from InstaSafe perspective is that we have so many features from the endpoint security point of view, where we start with stopping copy paste of information from secure applications or sensitive applications, by blocking the clipboard, by stopping downloads, okay, and we also prevent taking of screenshots. We can optionally enable screen recording to record activity on sensitive data applications. Okay, these are some of the endpoint security features that we are different with. And we also have integrated multi-factor authentication. If suppose you want to fortify your authentication with two-factor, you can get your OTP via SMS or mail. Optionally, you can also use the TOTP, which is a time-based OTP, via Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticators. That's how we differentiate from our competitors. Any more questions? Okay, then here is one more. Yeah, here is one more.
Yeah.
Can the endpoint be mobile devices after, other than laptops, PCs? Okay, of course. So that's a good question. Endpoints, we support laptops, desktops, and other than that, we support Mac OS, we support Android devices, as well as the devices which run iOS, that is the iPad and the iPhone. I hope that answers.
Right.
So there was one other question which I don't know if people were seeing. That was the first question posted, and that was about whether InstaSafe is applicable to any environment where the applications are deployed, or is it just AWS? So, and what is the AWS specificity in the InstaSafe solution? So InstaSafe actually supports a multi-cloud environment, no problem there at all. And we host our controller in the AWS, being an advanced technology partner. So we can seamlessly work on with AWS as a transit gateway and eliminate backhauling of traffic through the customer premise for where the firewall or VPN concentrator is hosted. So you can just eliminate the backhauling of traffic and avoid unnecessary traffic or overheads. And we also use, as I said, a controller for authentication and authorization in the AWS.
Shrikant, we do have a question. Does InstaSafe support integration with SIEM solutions?
Yes. So InstaSafe generates a lot of logs, okay, in the sense that these are useful logs for the system security administrators in the IT security department, where you can find out logs. Rather, the logs are based on access times to the applications, user logins, failed user logins, what time a user logged in, and so you can find out what sessions were there, session logs, what events took place, whether the authentication took place properly, what else were accessed from an administrator, things like that, and the event logs, session logs, application logs, etc. All these extensive logs can be exported to a syslog server or even a SIEM. So SIEM we popularly support are QRadar and ArcSight. We also support Splunk, incidentally.
Right. There's another question about Active Directory compliance and how InstaSafe ensures the same.
So InstaSafe integrates with the Microsoft Active Directory seamlessly. And we also, with the ZTNA, we also support the OpenLDAP. Now, with Active Directory, we can, of course, directly integrate, and along with that, we can also have SAML integration for authentication between applications and service providers, IDP and service providers. That is the applications.
Awesome. So we'll stay online for just a few more questions.
I hope I'm answering your question satisfactorily. If you have any doubts, you can please approach on the Q&A.
We have a question. What is InstaSafe Safe's role from the BYOD security perspective?
From the BYOD perspective, so nowadays we know that especially due to the pandemic, there is a situation where users are allowed to bring in their own devices, right? Use their own devices from remote locations, especially work from home, and they use their own PC or a tablet or whatever. So we support BYOD, uh, but how do you secure the BYOD, right? Now let's say you are logging in from one device, and which is a tablet, and we want to ensure that the tablet is used by you. So we can bind the tablet to the user. So BYOD, of course, we support, and we also support device binding, where we bind the devices to users to ensure authentication and to ensure that non-repudiation.
Mhm. We are online for any more questions that arise. We wait for just a minute or two.
Sure.
We do have a question. Does InstaSafe follow an agent-based or an agentless approach? Or does it support both?
Yeah, so we have our approach is that we have a very lightweight client which is sitting at the endpoint, and it is not a heavyweight agent which requires to be installed and downloaded with a lot of effort or configured heavily. It's a very lightweight client that is a Chromium browser that is used as a client, and so it's almost agentless, I could say, and it's very easy to configure. Just sits at your on your endpoint device, compatible with Windows, Linux, Mac OS, Linux, even the iOS and Android, as I said before.
Some. And yeah, we'll wait for one more question. We do have time for one more question.
No problem.
So yeah, we do have a user who wants to know about the geo binding and the geofencing perspectives of InstaSafe.
Okay. So when a user is using applications from rather accessing applications from his office, and you find that you need to provide an extra layer of security around him, maybe a higher end officer, or a CEO, or even somebody who needs to be given extra security from the perspective of what data breach is not taking place. Then you can enable geo binding to ensure that you know the location, and you can have a radius around the user from within which he can access the applications. So if you can set it, for example, a 5 kilometer or a 10 kilometer radius from his office, and say, okay, this user isn't going to travel beyond that, and if anybody is trying to access applications from that user's credentials from outside of the 10 kilometers, even be it the same user, disallow. So owing to the fact that he won't travel beyond the 10 kilometer radius. So you can set a radius and have a secure geofence built for the user.
Awesome. So yeah, that's about sums it up. If you do have any other doubts, you can of course shoot us a mail at marketing@instasafe.com. We'd be happy to clear them. But yeah, until then, yeah, have a great day. I hope you actually got some good insights from the webinar. Thank you, and yeah, have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good day, everybody, and thanks for your patience and attending this webinar. Please reach out to